Most surreal places on Earth. There are still so many undiscovered beauties in the world that are really worth visiting. For a modern person who lives a life full of stress, these places can really be helpful to find some peace. Life seems unreal sometimes, doesn't it? In the same way, the number of places on Earth around us that fill us with wonder seems unreal sometimes too. There are some places on Earth that are so incredibly amazing that it feels illusory. It gets hard to believe that they exist right among us. Living in the same place for a long time makes us unaware of the most surreal places on Earth that are just lying in different parts of the world. They are the true gems, the beauty of nature, and nothing can be compared to what nature holds. For those who love to travel and explore places, it should be your goal to experience the best of what Earth has to offer. And today, you are so in luck because we have a list of most unreal places on Earth that will leave you in awe. 10. Lencois Maranhenses National Park, Brazil. Lencois Maranhenses National Park is a treasure, something not seen anywhere else in the world. A perfect mix of hundreds upon hundreds of smooth sand dunes, hidden lagoons and ocean views. Lencois Maranhenses National Park is one of Brazil's most beautiful natural wonders. Located in Maranhão State in northeastern Brazil, it is one of the most marvelous and unique places in the world. An area encompassing about 1,000 square kilometers of white silky sands intercepted at regular intervals by endless cool oases of turquoise lakes. At first glance, Lencois Maranhenses looks like an archetypal desert. In fact, it isn't actually a desert just like the Totori sand dunes aren't. Lying just outside the Amazon basin, the region is subject to a regular rain season during the beginning of the year. The rainwater accumulates in the valleys and between sand dunes and forms clear blue and green lagoons that reach their fullest between July and September. The area is also surprisingly home to a variety of fish, which despite the almost complete disappearance of the lagoons during the dry season have their eggs brought from the sea by birds. Mangroves, deserted beaches, varitas, a graceful kind of palm tree, and the Preguicas River help compose the park's diversity. Lencois Maranhenses has been formed over thousands of years as the sand from riverbeds is deposited at the mouth of the rivers and brought back to the continent by winds and sea currents. The dunes advance as far as 31 miles into the continent and stretch along 27 miles of coastline, mostly deserted beaches. 9. Pamukkkale Hot Springs, Turkey. Pamukkkale means cotton castle in Turkish and is a famous natural hot springs in Turkey. Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, Pamukkkale Thermal Spring is a natural wonder. These famous springs are well known for having traces of carbonate minerals that the rivers leave behind. Pamukkkale waterfalls in Turkey, known as Hierapolis in Greek, forms pure white travertines from calcium-filled hot waters. Located in the southwestern Turkish province of Denizli, Pamukkkale is the site of the ancient city of Hierapolis, a Greco-Roman city that used to be bustling back in the day. This whole part of Turkey is packed with ruins from Greek times, and they're certainly worth visiting. The site is characterized by white terraces formed of sedimentary rock and have been deposited by hot spring waters over millennia. There are several sources of hot spring water in the area, and they all come together to create water that is exceptionally high in calcium carbonate. When that water hits the open air, it turns into white travertine. This travertine is why the terraces of Pamukkkale have that blinding white appearance. It's the water that hasn't yet solidified that gives off the brightest blue shade as it cascades over the top of the travertine. The natural rock pools of Pamukkkale are one of Turkey's most visited destinations and also one of the most gorgeous. If weird and beautiful sights are your thing, then this is for you. However, this spot isn't just a little odd and very wonderful. It's also stunningly beautiful. It's blindingly white, has terraces that run down a mountainside, and glassy blue water on top. Of course, Pamukkkale is far more than that, but that's the eye-watering visual you'll get when you see a picture of it for the first time. 8. Fly Geyser, Nevada. If we told you that there are 6-foot-tall, brightly colored geysers that spew boiling water over 5 feet into the air in the middle of the Nevada desert, would you believe us? We probably wouldn't believe us either, but it's true. Nevada's Fly Geyser is an accidental man-made wonder that has created a whimsically colored and fantastically shaped desert marvel that is a must-see for Nevadans and visitors alike. The Fly Geyser is located on Fly Ranch, a 3,800-acre parcel of land in northern Nevada purchased by the Burning Man Project in 2016. It is an amazing site that is located about 2 hours north of Reno, on the edge of the Nevada Black Rock Desert. The first geyser on the site began to form in 1916 when residents were seeking irrigation water and drilled a well. This well was quickly abandoned when it was discovered that the water inside was too hot, and so began the development of the first geyser. Similarly, the main geyser was created accidentally in 1964 after a geothermal power company drilled a test well at the site. According to later newspaper reports, the well was either left uncapped or was improperly plugged. In either case, the scalding hot water shot from the well hole and calcium carbonate deposits began to form, growing several inches each year. Jump forward several decades, and those deposits have become 3 large mounds mounds that rise out of a field of tall reeds and grasses. The sediments are now almost 6 feet tall and are multicolored green and red. The geyser's trio of travertine cones still spew scalding hot water about 4 or 5 feet into the air. Scientists who are familiar with the geyser note that the coloring on the outside of the mounds is the result of thermophilic algae, which flourishes in moist, hot environments. The inside of the mounds even contain quartz, which according to a nature scientist is growing much more rapidly than any of the other geysers that she has studied in her career. Typically, quartz doesn't begin to grow for about 10,000 years within geysers, which makes the fly geyser even more of a marvel. 7. Underwater waterfall, Mauritius Island. Waterfalls are cool and all, but an underwater waterfall, that's the kind of out-of-this-world scene dreams are made of, and you can find it in Mauritius. This Indian Ocean nation is home to a national park and tons of beautiful beaches and lagoons. It's also the same place you'll find an incredible optical illusion. Just off the coast of Le Morne, on the island's southwest, Mauritius offers a spectacular illusion. Sand and silt on the ocean floor run off in a way that makes it look like they're pouring down a waterfall, or like the entire island is being sucked down a vast drain. It's really just the flow of underwater currents that create the dramatic image. The ocean water is spectacular from the shore, but to see this particular view requires a helicopter ride. From the shores of Mauritius, it might not look like much, but hop on a helicopter tour of the island and you'll notice a particularly intriguing shoreline. It looks like there's a deep waterfall flowing down underneath the water. Unfortunately, it's not exactly what it seems. But the real truth behind what your eyes are seeing is just as cool. The color of the water is a little bit different depending on the ground beneath it, making some areas appear deeper than others. 6. Lake Natron, Tanzania. Lake Natron, found in a dry, northern part of Tanzania, is like no other lake you've ever seen or heard about, or perhaps even imagined. Why? Well, for starters, parts of it sometimes turn red, and we bet you've never seen a red lake before. Apart from sometimes turning red, another reason that Lake Natron is so unusual is that it's incredibly caustic from the nearby volcano. This makes it poisonous to most animals. Animal and bird corpses can be found in and around the lake. This is why we refer to Lake Natron as Tanzania's beautiful but deadly red lake. Stick around and you understand just what turns the water red and makes it deadly. The water of Lake Natron is very high in cyanobacteria. This is an algae that releases a chemical which in turn damages the cells, nervous system, and livers of most of the organisms that have consumed it. Many of the birds and animals that drink from Lake Natron wind up dead as a result. The animals, birds and bats that die in the water are calcified and turn into mummified versions of themselves. The talented artist Nick Brandt has taken many of these petrified animals and placed them in lifelike poses before snapping their photo. His series is titled Petrified. Amazing fun facts about Lake Natron. Flamingos aren't negatively affected by the bacteria in Lake Natron that harms most other birds. The lake is actually the largest breeding ground in the world for lesser flamingos. This red tinge to the water can even be seen from space. 5. The Wave, Arizona, USA. As far as U.S. desert views go, it just doesn't get much better than the Wave, a colorful sandstone rock formation in Arizona that's been eroded by the wind to resemble an ocean wave. The site's exclusivity only adds to its allure. Mother Nature is usually pretty cagey about her creative process. She wants us to believe all the Earth's features are just coincidental products of natural processes. But she tipped her hand when she made the Wave, just across the Arizona border. It's a little too down the middle, beauty-wise, with its Baroque bands of red, pink, yellow, and white Navajo sandstone arcing precipitously up, down, and around ancient stone chutes. A little over-designed if she's trying to maintain an air of indifference. Due to the overwhelming popularity of the site, the Bureau of Land Management limits foot traffic into the canyon, thus preserving the integrity and beauty of the Wave. For years, access was limited to only 20 lucky people a day, but in February 2021, the BLM increased the daily hiking quota to 64 people per day. Of those, 48 get permits in the advance lottery and 16 permits are awarded in the daily lottery. It's still hard to find yourself one of the lucky ones to receive a permit for the site, despite the increased quota, simply because there are so many people who want to experience the Wave. In 2018 alone, there were approximately 168,317 applicants, and with only 7,300 people allowed access, that's a 4.3% success rate. 4. White Sands National Monument, New Mexico. The largest gypsum dune field in the world is located at White Sands National Monument in south-central New Mexico. This region of glistening white dunes is in the northern end of the Chihuahuan Desert within an internally drained valley called the Chilarosa Basin. The monument ranges in elevation from 3890 to 4116 above sea level. Some places are so stunning and surreal that they transport you to another world. White Sands National Park is one such place. Here, the sand is so white it resembles mounds of snow and the dunes are so big and rolling that they they look like giant white waves. The otherworldly effect is only enhanced by the New Mexico blue sky, which makes the white of the dunes pop. The dunes, which are made of super soft gypsum sand, sprawl for 275 square miles in south-central New Mexico, creating the world's largest gypsum dune field. In addition to their striking appearance, the gypsum sand dunes are extremely rare and house 800 animal species, including the park's endemic white species, mice, lizards, moths, and other insects that have gradually changed color, becoming lighter in color than their relatives elsewhere. Visitors to White Sand National Park can hike on and sled down the giant mounds of powder-like sand. Popular hiking trails include Dune Life Nature Trail, a 1-mile loop that passes over 2 steep dunes, and the more strenuous Alkali Flat Trail, a 5-mile round-trip hike that goes up and down several dunes and passes by the final remnants of Lake Otero. For a truly unique experience, pick up a plastic sled at the White Sands Trading Gift Shop and sled down the sandy dunes, which feel like powder snow. And every month from April to October, the park hosts a guided full moon hike that allows you to experience the eerie glow of the full moon reflecting on the white sand. You might even spot some of the park's nocturnal wildlife, like the kit fox, coyote, or desert cottontail who come out to hunt and forage when the sun sets and the sand cools. 3. Tunnel of Love, Klevan, Ukraine. Tunnel of Love in the village of Klevan is the most romantic place in Ukraine. It's a 4-kilometer-long green corridor, created by trees lined up in an arch with the railway in the middle. The railway was built during the Cold War for military purposes. Trying to hide it, the track was camouflaged by trees. Later the train track was used to deliver wood to the woodwork factory. In fact, trains still run there. Today the Tunnel of Love is a Ukrainian hotspot for lovers. Local legend says that if you and your beloved come to the Tunnel of Love and sincerely make a wish, it will come true. The place is very popular among photographers too. Couples photo shoots are especially popular, but the tunnel is also a great spot for thematic shootings. The place is gorgeous at any time of the year. Summer and spring offer 50 shades of green. In the autumn you can immerse yourself in palettes of yellow, orange, red, and brown. And if you want to feel like Elsa from Frozen, visit during the winter time. Some fun facts. In 2015, Japanese movie Tunnel of Love was filmed in the tunnel. The Tunnel of Love was relatively unknown until 2011 when it went viral on the internet. Since then it has been visited by tourists all over the world. 2. Whitehaven Beach, Whitsunday Island, Australia. The beach at Whitehaven is an absolute icon of the Whitsundays. Its beauty attracts thousands of tourists each year. The sand here is snow white, pure and soft, and the crystal clear idyllic deep turquoise waters are breathtaking thanks to the limestone shelf that runs from Whitehaven out into the sea. The ever-changing inlet is one of the most photographed destinations on the planet. It's no wonder so many people have Whitehaven Beach on their travel bucket list whilst traveling Australia. The breathtaking Whitehaven Beach is found on Whitsunday Island, the largest in the chain making up the Whitsunday Islands. With its snow-white sand, complete remoteness. The beach extends over 7 kilometers, with sand made up of 98% pure, tiny silica beads, making it dazzlingly white and luxuriously fine. The magic of the beads of sand is that they don't retain heat from the sun. This makes it the perfect sand for beach strolls without burning the soles of your feet. The fineness of the beads also makes it perfect for exfoliating, a free spa day whilst at the beach. 1. Ice Canyon, Greenland. Being the largest island in the world, Greenland offers the Grand Ice Canyon, which is a magnificent ice structure. The canyon is actually a huge pit buried underneath the ice sheet in Greenland. Ice Canyon is the most visited spot in Greenland. The canyon's depth is 40 meters. This subglacial canyon covers a distance of 750 kilometers and runs from the central region of the island and into the Arctic Ocean. Ice Canyon is one of the coolest places on Earth, and for ice lovers, it is just marvelous. This majestic canyon, artfully carved by nature itself, formed by meltwater, is one of the most striking sights of the country. Ice Canyon was discovered very recently by the scientists in several celebrated universities, who were in the region doing some research. This canyon happens to be the longest canyon on the Earth. It was first found when NASA collected some data using their ice-penetrating radar that showed the existence of a gigantic canyon beneath the ice. Water from the melting icebergs creates an eye-catching landscape by forming turquoise rivers that runs through the canyon. The canyon is not just beautiful, but it also helps to transport water from the melting of the glacier to the ice sheet into the ocean. The weather is not so freezing during May and July, therefore might be the best time to visit the country.